Okay, enough of that. All right. We had to do our own mannequin challenge. No, the guy, we're going to talk about social media today, and we're going to talk about, and we mentioned this the other day, about how much hate has been on social media, especially I think in this election season. It just got out of control. So there are social media companies that are trying to do something. And let's start with Facebook. What's going on there?
Well, so Facebook immediately came under fire for its potential role in the election. And I think if you spend any time on Facebook, you can see how that might be the case.
Right.
Now, Mark Zuckerberg came out very quickly and said, that's a crazy idea. But even employees within the company are saying that there's something to that. Facebook has a couple of issues. One is what's called the filter bubble. That's been a complaint from the beginning, which is you create a reality that agrees with you so that any dissent is immediately kind of troubling for you when you run across that one friend, it seems like, in 100. The other is fake news, which are literally fake news articles that have no basis in reality but get spread virally. A Facebook engineer did concede that, Facebook is optimized for engagement, and frankly, well, BS is very engaging and therefore propagates very quickly.
And we're not talking about satire here. We're talking about actual fake news. I mean, it looks real, but it's totally not
absolutely
based in
fabricated.
fact.
In fact, they say there are overseas, kind of studios that can churn this out quickly. They take completely random quotes and attribute them to candidates, and the next thing you know, everyone's sharing it.
What about Twitter, Bert? What's going on
Well,
there?
so even before the campaign, Twitter was sort of criticized for being sort of the home for trolls, all this harassment, a lot of hate going back and forth between people on in communities, and they've never really done anything about it. So subsequently, after the campaign, and sort of Trump kind of gave people the liberty to say whatever they wanted to say, right? So there's actually a more activity going on now that is probably in that category of hate and harassment. So what Twitter has done is they've actually created a mute capability.
Okay.
You can actually mute words, phrases, as well as hashtags, and you can actually mute conversations.
Okay.
So you can mute entire conversations. They also set up a safety team where you can report abuse and the safety team will actually respond to it. Prior to this, they were never really very responsive to people's problems that they were having.
Yeah, but this is beyond the election thing. We're talking about if you have a stalker, you got trouble on your account, this is going to help.
Right, they make it easy for other people to report on your behalf and to mute things. The problem is muting it just sort of doesn't show it to you, but it's
make
still
it stop.
there.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Okay. The tech industry in general, what would you say a Trump administration, what kind of impact is that going to have on the tech industry?
Well, the tech industry almost uniformly was opposed to the current administration. Peter Thiel, a Facebook investor, was one of his only supporters. Now, though, you can look at real tangible impacts. For example, if there's going to be less incentives for renewable energy, less focus on the environment, then tech companies that are involved in solar or electric cars like Tesla, they're seeing their stock being impacted by that. And even issues like immigration and free trade, if you rely on H-1B visas for your tech talent and programmers, you're going to be impacted by policies as well.
Okay, let's talk about your radio show, 5 o'clock tonight on Hawaii Public Radio, 89.3. What you guys got?
Well, so we are actually in a special pledge drive mode. So yesterday and today, they're actually doing a little pledge drive. So we'll have a live show, but we'll talk about the IT apprenticeship program over at the Honolulu Community College and how that dovetails into workforce development. So we'll do that in combination with a little bit of pledge drive.
5 o'clock, 89.3 Bite Marks Cafe with Ryan, with Bert. Thanks, guys, for being with us. The Geeks right here on Sunrise. We'll take a break and be back with more in just a moment. We're not going to mannequin, though. They're really going to dance here. They're going to. Come on, let them dance. Let them dance. Let Ryan dance. But not Bert. Not Bert.
Oh.